You are now listening to The Perfect Prana with Kyah Ann. What's poppin'? What's good? This is The Perfect Prana Show, and I am Kyah Ann, and your host, and a new yoga instructor on the Chicago scene. I don't know where the accent just came from, but anyways, back to my show. If you like yoga, you are in the right place because all I do is talk about yoga. And if you don't like yoga, then we'll work on that and we'll get through that together, okay? Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am so blessed. I got some yoga news, a very special guest, the weekly wellness challenge. Before we get into all of that, let's center ourselves. I know that I need to center myself, so wherever you're at, you could be in bed, on your couch, in your car driving, walking in the park. It's a Saturday and Sunday morning for you, so there's an array of scenarios that could be happening. But wherever you are, let's find our center. I do ask that you're sitting up for this, but that's an option. Everything's an option. You could do whatever you want. There's no compulsion. Look at your feet. Maybe you're wearing shoes. Maybe you're wearing socks. Maybe you're barefoot. Plant your feet into the ground or into your mat, to the floor, the earth, wherever you are. Just go ahead and plant your feet. And then maybe give your toes a little wiggle. Let's get some connectedness to all the parts of your body. Your toes are there, they exist, so just say hi. Sit up nice and tall or stand up nice and tall. Or if you're laying down, just lengthen your spine. Roll your shoulders up and back, opening up your heart space. Our hearts are open today. Relax your jaw and maybe soften your gaze, maybe close your eyes or keep your eyes wide open. Find a focal point. If you are able to do so, place your hands into your belly. Inhale through your nose and let your belly fill up and then hold at the top. Exhale through the nose and let your belly deflate and hold at the bottom. And then focus on your breath. Focus on that prana. And prana translating to life force or energy. Breath of life has many translations. But focus on that prana because the prana is perfect. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment. I am centered. No, seriously, I am. Give that a try. You don't have to right now, but if you ever need to, my brain is everywhere, everything's chaotic, but let me pull it all in. So, yoga news. I don't really have a story for you guys this week, but I will tell you that the Chicago Marathon is October 8th, which is on Sunday. If I was a yogi that was running 26 miles, I'm going to tell you a few poses I would do. I have mad respect for the 45,000 people that are getting out there and running 26 miles this weekend. And this is based off of my knowledge and my personal experience as a runner, which I'm on a running pause right now. I would do Adho Mukha Savasana. This is like the most recommended pose ever. Downward facing dog. This is good even if you aren't a runner. It's a full body stretch. You definitely are using all the major parts of your body to get into this posture. I would just start by getting on my mat, or you don't even need a mat, but you might be more comfortable with the mat. Or getting on the floor, whatever. Coming into tabletop, hands and knees on the floor, untucking the toes, and then lifting your hips up and back into space. Pushing your belly closer to your thighs as you exhale. Bringing your upper arms closer to one another isometrically. Once I learned the alignment of downward facing dog, it was a game changer, because I swear this is like the most repetitive pose in every single yoga class, but it used to be like one of the hardest ones for me to hold. I wasn't really experiencing the full benefits of it, but once I started to, I was like, man, I love this. I could stay here forever. It truly is a restful pose. I think the cue that really helped me to act as if I'm sliding the mat forward, and that really put things into perspective for me. Really good for spinal alignment. And it also is a big stretch in the hamstrings, a good stretch in the calves. If you don't stretch, you might have tight hamstrings. My yoga teacher said that if he had to choose a pose, the most two important poses in yoga, it would be Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, and it would be Virasana, hero's pose, which hero's pose is also a good one if you're running 26 miles because it's a good quad stretch, knee stretch, and ankle stretch. So definitely good for that ankle mobility, which is important if you are running or going upstairs. This is a very challenging posture. It looks easy, but I find it most comfortable with some props. Like I have to sit on a block to comfortably do this. To do this posture, I'd come onto my hands and my knees, and I bring my knees a little bit closer together, and then my feet a little bit wider apart, and I would sit my tailbone between my feet. That is how the pose is normally practiced. There's ways to progress with this pose. It's just something you have to keep practicing, and I guess it gets more comfortable over time. Also, if I was running 26 miles, I feel like this is a common one and people intuitively do this, but I would do Malasana, garland pose, or some call it the yogi squat. The way that I practice this pose that's accessible for me, I spread my feet about the width of a yoga mat, a little bit more than hips width apart. I turn my toes out and I move my tailbone toward the ground, keeping a straight spine, or straight as possible, upright spine, and bringing my hands to center. It's a really good hip opener, just because running you can get really tight hips, so it's all about the hips, baby. Legs and hips and body yada. Okay, seriously. Also, if I was running 26 miles as a yogi, another posture I would practice, and you're gonna be like, duh, when I say this, but runner's lunge. I don't even think that this has a Sanskrit name, but I would practice runner's lunge. And to practice runner's lunge, I'd start in a forward fold and half lift, lengthen my spine and lift my chest halfway, and step one leg behind me while straddling the front leg, keeping my back heel facing toward the ceiling or the sky, wherever you're at. And I would stay there, chest upright, making sure my heart is staying open, really stretching that back quad. Lunges are really good for our knees, strengthening them, because I know that it's very common for runners to have knee issues. And I wouldn't just stop at a runner's lunge. I would just rise into a high lunge and float my hands above my head and pretend like I'm holding an imaginary block, keeping my back leg straight. Anjaneyasana, I would just experiment with a lot of lunge stretches. Maybe I should say a fifth pose just for decoration. I would just take a yoga class in general and really fit that into my routine. And I wouldn't really discriminate between any poses. But yeah, the marathon's this weekend. If any runners listening, then there you go. Do some yoga. Because that will help you get through the 26 miles. I know that is a very hard thing. The human body is amazing. Anyways, on to my personal yoga journey. Last week I told you that I got injured when I was running. So it's funny I'm talking about yoga for runners. But I did get injured, so I did to say that I had to adjust my practice and just enjoying my recovery time. My Saturday class has been so good. Every time I leave my Saturday practice, I feel so good about the class. I'm feeling confident. I'm like, yeah, that was a good class. It's good practice. Everything went well. It flowed. I don't know what it is about my Wednesday class. Is it the day Wednesday or whatever it is? I'm like, it just does not flow the same way that my Saturday class does. I write out the routine. Where's the disconnect? Why am I not flowing as well? Like, it just is like, man, people are like, oh my gosh, Kyah, why would you say it like that? Or what are they doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, girl, come on, get it together. So like, it's Wednesday today and I just came from that and I'm like, yeah, I need to center myself. What was that? But I'm excited for my class this Saturday because I feel like it's going to be a lot better because that's been the pattern so far. I'm going to have to do some readjusting or figure out how to feel more confident in my Wednesday class. Maybe it's like the middle of the week and I'm just a little bit more stressed out or have like more schoolwork due, or maybe I feel so good going to my Saturday class because my show airs on Saturday and then I listen to my show on air every Saturday and then I feel good after listening to my show and I'm like going to yoga like, yay. I mean, I felt good going today, so I posted my practice on Instagram and Facebook if you want to go check it out. Actually, I'm going to uninvite you to my Facebook. Facebook is for the family. So if you don't already have my Facebook, then whatever. But Instagram, you can find me at Consistently Kyah, consistently spelled with a K, Kyah spelled Kyah, Yoga Hills. I'm here with...
I am Kay, also known as Kawaii, also known as She Heals, also known as DJ She Beat.
How are you?
I am amazing. This is like so ironic to like see you here, and then today is my last day on the radio because I'm expanding into Spotify. So this is like just so full circle today. I'm all excited. It's on FM radio.
Yeah.
2 years. This divine intervention just happened, just like when we were standing there together. Because I'm like, you were like such a witness to that. Like, I literally had got fired 2 weeks after we had that conversation, and I told you I had bought it. So, like, legit the same thing is happening. I got a job as I was thinking of transitioning, and then she was like, "Are your Thursdays free?" And I'm like, "They are now." And it's a really good position. I'm like the regional yoga teacher in Florissant. Right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You're like really inspired me a lot when we were working together. You're like, oh, I'm going to get this YTT. And I wanted to do that too, but I just wasn't ready at that point in my life. Let's just get into the real question of the show though. Why do you practice yoga?
I first did yoga in college at Mizzou. It was like my super semester. I used to do like modern dance and ballet and stuff, and I really enjoyed modern dance. But I couldn't find like a modern dance studio anywhere. That might be something I need to do. But I couldn't find a studio, so I was just like looking in like, the activities, the organizations, and I saw that it was like a yoga class on campus, and so I went and I fell in love with it. And I was just like, okay. So that was my first taste of it. But I really like got into it during 2020. So I like downloaded this app and just went from there. But It came from a place of wanting to heal myself, learning what was coming up while I was sitting with myself during 2020. I had just came off of tour, so it was like a lot of stuff that I was dealing with, like personally. But I was also led to a lot of like resources, more so like holistic resources to kind of help me deal with my stuff. I don't know, everything just started lining and falling together. And next thing you know, I was doing yoga in the middle of the hood under a pine tree.
Why do you still practice today?
Because I know there are other people in the hood trying not to lose their stuff. And, they may not be so bold or motivated to go out in the middle of their driveway or their pine tree and do yoga because of the environment. So my biggest thing was I didn't let my environment stop me. So I just kind of made it my duty to facilitate environments for people like me that want to get into yoga without feeling intimidated or outcasted or weird for wanting to do something like that.
Yoga is a beautiful practice.
Like getting people comfortable with their body. Cause you're just like so surprised, like who is uncomfortable with their bodies and stuff. I feel like that's something I actually came into because like my purpose genuinely was to just facilitate a space for people that look like me to go do yoga without, get made fun of or whatever. I'm teaching older ladies now. I walked in and like obviously I'm younger than them and they just like, oh, I can't keep up with her. Like I could just feel it. And I'm just like, no, that's not this not that. Like I'm gonna make sure you feel welcome and safe. And like it's been about what 2-3 weeks and they just look like it's so synchronized. Like I like synchronized swimming. And I was just like, if you guys can see how you look from like 2 weeks ago, like your confidence is there and that's a big component of it. I might start paying attention to that more.
What's something that you do, something that you love, and something that you dream about?
Something that I do for my happiness, like if I'm being transparent, like I do battle the anxiety. It's a battle. I don't ever claim it. I always say it's a battle. Because some days, I win. I do a lot of self care. I'll go full spa day in my house. It'll be dark in here, candles. Something that I love that makes me happy, traveling. Traveling and creating, I would say for sure. I love creating things and I love traveling. Something I dream about that would make me happy. But yeah, obtaining my bigger picture. It's a really big picture, but that's what I dream about every day. Like how I want to like move and delegate and just stepping more into my boss era.
You've always been a boss. You're so fluid with life. I like how you are just always just so easygoing.
When I first started doing yoga, like in St. Louis, I had came back home. A yoga teacher, she was like, yoga is about breathing in difficult positions, and you should apply that to your everyday life. And I was just, man, that's been with me for at least 7 years now. You have these like periods of like isolation, or to feel like you in a drought, or everything just piling up, but it's just like think of your most difficult yoga position. Just breathe through it. And it's like as soon as you come up for that inhale and go like into your resting pose, that's when something is there, like waiting for you. I'll be keeping the faith for the most part. And some usually work out for me. So
I remember when I first heard you say that in a yoga class, and that was so profound. Girl, that stuck with me. Always having to remember to breathe. And that is why this is the perfect Prana show.
I feel like you're a godsend because, like I said, like you have my moments where, like, I do get down. And on my show today, I was talking about perseverance and how, sometimes you do get weak while you're persevering and, you fall into like, you get vulnerable and you might get into some stuff. But, it's always a point you come to a point where you like always got to bring yourself back. And then I mentioned like how God always sends something in my life to kind of like bring me back. It's like a smelling thought or something that happens. And it's just like, I'll be at home and I'll be sad and I'm just like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm trying to find my happiness. Or I'll like leave the house or something. Then I'll run into a stranger and I'll get a compliment or one of my followers or something to hit me up like, oh, I listened to your episode. And I'm just like, huh? What's next? And what am I supposed to do? And am I doing it right? And like, I was just having that moment like yesterday. And so like, now I'm interviewing and I'm hearing all, these compliments and feedback. And it just, I know what I'm on the right path, and I know what I'm doing isn't in vain because this is what I'm doing it for. Like, so proud of you. Like, that is just, this is why I do stuff. And I want to show people, especially young women, like, you don't have to be a 9 to 5 person. Like, it takes discipline, it takes a lot of faith, but a lot of times I want to give up and get a job. But it seemed like it's just been blocked. And it's like, well, you've been looking for the wrong job. So now I realize, like, oh yeah, I can take out independent contracts still with places, and not necessarily work there, but like work there. So that's what the jam is now. So definitely independent contracts. Remember that.
Where can we find you?
She Heals is on YouTube, and I'm doing collective readings, like full energy readings and whatnot, and my DJ page too. I moved it to YouTube, more content, more gig highlight. I've been tending to my websites because I was like neglecting my websites. And I was like, oh my God, Instagram was in the way. Like, because it's like you get caught up in the instant gratification of it, and like being able to see things. But really, if you want to build a business, you should focus on those more tedious, harder algorithm apps. So, and I didn't want to do that. I ain't gonna lie. Instagram was easy, I was comfortable. So I got pushed out my comfort zone, and yeah, I'm just on Facebook and YouTube and Spotify. So it's She Heals, DJ She Beat, all across the board.
Before we go, now this is my final request, since you are a yoga instructor, and it seems like that's the theme of the show. I'm always bringing on other yoga instructors at this point. Mm-hmm. So since you are, could you lead us in some pranayama? Cue us through a breath, just a quick one.
Yes. And real quick before I do that though, I think it's beautiful that you are highlighting yoga instructors. We are important. I'm coming up on 3 years. It's important, and we like deserve shine as any other instructor. Because I feel like instructors in general don't get any shine. But as far as a yoga teacher, like that's a practice that has stories that need to be told. So this is my favorite. I'm gonna scoot back because I use my arms with mine. And you probably remember it. So you stand up straight, take a deep breath, close your eyes. Take a deep inhale, hands up, straight, and exhale. It's a prayer. Inhale, extend, keep your palms together. And exhale, open your arms. Inhale, give yourself a big hug. Exhale, open your arms. Inhale, bring your palms together. And exhale, back. That's my favorite one.
Namaste. Yes. Thank you so much. Weekly wellness challenge. Y'all, let's get into this. Last week, well, technically this week, but I challenged you, and I really challenged myself. I challenged myself to avoid screen time after 10:30 p.m. Did I succeed? Well, I definitely said I might fail this challenge, and I kind of did. And it's only Wednesday, guys, and yesterday I definitely got on my phone. I was on my phone after 10:30 at like 11, maybe even 11:30, and I didn't even realize. I was like, man, does that mean I'm going to give up on the challenge? No, I'm still going to carry on about the week. Like, look, that was a slip up. As long as it's like no screen time, like social media or entertainment, good. Now, I might need to like check my phone for something or set an alarm clock or whatever. But as long as I'm not like in my bed, laid up, watching Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney, like whatever I watch, as long as I'm not up watching stuff and scrolling on my phone and being mindless, that's a good start. Now that I'm not watching my phone all night till I go to bed, I've been using that time before bed to just read. As soon as it's 10:30, I'm like, okay, it's time to get ready to go to bed. Whatever I'm doing, I need to do it quick and I need to go to bed. Have I been going to bed earlier? Because that really is my main goal, is how can I promote an earlier bedtime for myself? A little bit. And I've definitely had many nights like before this challenge where I'd be in bed, but then I couldn't go to sleep, so I ended up putting on something or watching something, and then it would be like super late. This challenge has definitely stopped me from doing that. And if I can't sleep, I just lay there and thug it out. But when I master this, I am going to move that 10:30 time to 10. And then I think that that'll help me get to bed a lot earlier. I have got to learn boundaries. This challenge really helps me to stop being on my phone when I'm in bed, because I know that that makes it harder to sleep. I just need to make my bed for sleep, reading and sleep. And I can only read for so long, so if I read enough, I'll fall asleep. There's a limit to how much I can read at a time and really absorb information. This week's weekly challenge, I've decided that since I did the reading weekly challenge, this week I'm going to write every day. I'm going to journal every day, Saturday to Saturday. I'll do one page, front and back, just journal one page. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm gonna journal regardless, like even if it's about the stupidest stuff, like it doesn't matter. The reason I'm doing this, when I started journaling, it was a life-changing experience. I got so much more clarity. It was like around my 21st birthday. It was before my YTT. I decided to start journaling. You know, ever I talk about whatever is going on with me, I would always get the advice to journal and I would never really do it. And then I started doing it and it really helped me sort through a lot of issues. I think it would be beneficial to check in with myself every day and then to have the journal to look back on in 2023. This is what I was thinking. I think that that's really special. You know, I have so many thoughts constantly, so I could stand to write them down. And I really do feel that journaling helps with self-awareness, which is always necessary. I need to be aware of myself. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's up? What's going on? Are you okay? You can journal too. And it's your own private thoughts. You could say whatever you want, judgment-free zone, unless you're judging yourself. But if you are, then you could journal about that too. And I'm going to end with a quote from the show that I've been watching, Dance Academy. I used to watch this when I was younger. So I'm a show rewatcher. I rewatch shows. Like, that's my thing. So I started watching it again, and it's about dancers. And it's like an Australian TV show, and these dancers are like in this top dance school in Australia. My mom says that I'm really corny. Multiple people have told me at this point that I have a horrible taste in movies and TV shows, and that may be true, but I like what I like. I can't help it. I did feel like she said something profound, and I was like, I'm gonna bring this to my show. She said, the key to happiness is having something to do, something to love, and something to dream about. And that made me think about myself. Like, what do I do? What do I love? And what do I dream about? Well, I practice yoga, movement, pretty much been my main focus and where I've been putting all my energy into. And the show, and I really do feel like it's improved the quality of my life and has made me happier, is because I have something to do. I have something to look forward to. I have something to wake up for. Something that I love. I love my family. I love people. I love my connections. Something that I dream about. This is the part that tripped me up. What do I dream about? That gives me something to journal about. So I'm going to be journaling about my dreams and really look deep inside of myself and ask myself, what do I dream about, honestly? And that concludes the show. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Perfect Prana show. Yes, I am on Spotify, I am on Apple, and I'm also airing every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday at 10 a.m., Sunday at 9 a.m. on 88.1 FM WCRX. So much love for all of you. I'm sending love and light rays to everyone that's listening, even the ones that aren't listening. I'm sending them love and light rays too. Thank you. With that being said, the divine within me bows to the divine within you. Namaste.